We begin today with our big story. That is the scandal engulfing the University of Maryland football team. There's a couple of different things here, and I think sometimes people are missing the point.
Yeah. So I think everyone agrees. There's no doubt that a mistake was made at Maryland. The question is whether that mistake could have happened in any program given some kind of confluence of circumstances, or whether his death was a mistake that only could have happened at Maryland because of the culture that DJ Durkin had instituted and because of the strength and conditioning coach and because of what ESPN outlined in an article, because of some sort of toxic culture that would have led the coaches in the strength and conditioning to have less empathy for a player who was struggling in the way that Jordan McNair was struggling. And that leads to a broader question for me about this idea of tough love versus bullying. And I think a lot of casual fans think it's a really thin line, that any program or any coach at any point could kind of go from tough love to bullying and back. I just don't see that as true. And every athlete I've talked to over the last week is like, there is a wide gap between tough love and bullying and emotional bullying. And I think that's what casual fans really need to truly understand when they read these things about a tray getting knocked out of someone's hand or being forced to eat candy bars in front of people. There is a difference between a tough workout and athletes understanding the physical strain they're going to be under and how they are valued as human beings away from those workouts. And the details that we read in that article for ESPN, like, that is not something that can happen anywhere. And that, to me, does lead us down the path of, is this a mistake that really could have only happened somewhere like Maryland because of the environment?
For me, it's a consequences issue right now. It took 2 months to come out and take responsibility for this? Do we even know that we would know about this if this ESPN report didn't happen? And then the strength coach gets to resign and the guy's still coaching? I don't care about all this other stuff. A kid lost his life working himself to death. This wasn't a freak hit on the field. This wasn't a side accident in an off-campus situation. They literally worked a kid into the ground. This guy has to go. I don't understand how Maryland can look anybody in the face. I don't care if you take responsibility for it or not. The person who's supposed to lead men, so to speak, who you trust your children with, a kid ends up in the ground doing what he loved. I'm sorry, I just don't understand a situation in which you can reasonably say that he deserves to keep his job.
Right, and even if you are going to make the argument, which I and many others largely reject, that this kind of extreme exertion toughens people up and makes them more fit to play the tough game and all that, well, then you have to have safeguards in place, obviously. You can't be standing around when someone is obviously in distress and not take their temperature and not have an ice bath ready. You're going to say, this is how we're going to make guys tough. We're going to push them to the limits of their capabilities and their endurance. Okay, you want to make that argument? We can have that discussion. But then you've got to be able to save people's lives when they are dying standing by the field. And that's not what happened here.
And so much of this also is oversight. There was a proposal not long ago to make the training staff under the purview of the medical school. That was something that seems to have been sidelined by the president and others or people in the administration. That might have made a difference. I think some of this is you leave a lot of this up to football teams, and there is a culture within the football team of, we got to be tough. Guys got to do what we say. If they don't, well, that's going to break it down for everybody. This guy doesn't finish his drills, then everybody's going to complain that they're in trouble. And they're looking at it like this small little fiefdom instead of extending that out and saying these are human beings that we have to protect first. And this goes to so many controversies we've seen all year. It's just another situation where the kids come in last and the program comes first. Let's talk villains now. We'll lead off with Clinton on this one.
This gets me so incensed. Jose Urena beaned Ronald Acuna after Acuna hit leadoff dongs in 3 straight games. Ronald Acuna is one of the most exciting players in baseball. And this guy's got to deal with this nonsense because he's too good and the Marlins can't get him out. This is not a scenario in which he showed anybody up, in which he got into a fight and they're protecting one of their own players. They're just hating. And as a result, he's injured. This is why people don't like baseball.
All right.
Look,
Speaking of hate, you got a little haterism going.
My villain is Kobe Bryant. Now, this is a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but I'm trying to be more transparent about my emotional reactions to sports news stories.
Why?
And when I saw, why be transparent?
Why?
When I saw that Kobe Bryant made $200 million off of a $6 million investment, like, my emotional reaction was jealousy. It wasn't like, how cool is that Kobe not only has an Oscar since he finished playing with the Lakers, but now he's also like a leading investor of Silicon Valley. I just felt like comparison is the thief of joy. And every time I see this story,
wow,
I just get kind of upset. And I'm actually not really mad at Kobe.
Okay,
I just want to
are.
invest in things and get a 7,000% return.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
just-
just talk to
it
Kobe.
doesn't happen.
Become friends
Right.
with Kobe, and that'll happen for you.
So good for Kobe, though.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Kobe.
Mama
Jeremy.
lifestyle.
It's villains, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Josh Norman. Josh Norman
We're on
is my villain because he praised Sam Darnold.
Okay.
The rookie quarterback for the
Right.
Jets. What was he, the third overall pick? And here's the problem. Once you start heaping praise, I mean, it's not like he said he was Tom Brady and Sammy Baugh and Sid Luckman rolled into one, but he
Topical
said,
references. Yeah.
He doesn't even know who those guys are. Anybody under 30 doesn't know those guys.
he's raising expectations for a hopeless franchise, and I think that is a villainous act.
Wow.
And right now, the last thing Darnold needs is people saying he's good.
Yeah.
He needs people signing off on the I'm going to back up Teddy Bridgewater for a year. I'm going to, learn the game at this level, and I'm not going to be rushed out there to be creamed like so many Jets quarterbacks of the recent past.
Low expectations.